Archangel Michael says, "There is a file in heaven marked with your name, dated from the day your body lay still and silent under sterilites a broken bar. The divine court has opened it again because a cry has reached the heavens, not from your mouth, but from a soul that watched in silence during your weakest hour." This message is not an accident. It is the release of spiritual evidence that was suppressed. A doctor from your past, the very one who stood over you during that hospital stay, is in spiritual turmoil. They have carried a secret that heaven never permitted them to keep forever. And now the weight of truth is tearing them open. Type Amen to receive blessing 5. Do not skip. Every second you delay allows darkness to move ahead. While you lay unconscious, battling for breath and life, something happened behind closed doors. A switch was made. A chart was changed. A medication was withheld or added. Archangel Michael says, this was not just a human error or a broken bar, it was a spiritual attempt to sabotage your destiny. Someone inside that hospital was instructed by hands not of God. And though your body eventually healed, the spiritual scar remained untouched, a broken bar until now. As Idiasis Sedilla, a heavenly review has been initiated. The divine courtroom has summoned angels of truth, and what was once locked in silence is now echoing across realms. Because this doctor, the one who walked out of your room that day with trembling hands, is finally being pressed by their conscience, a broken bar, or perhaps by angels. They've seen things lately they cannot explain, lights flickering where none should, dreams of your face, and the number 5 repeating in strange ways. They are being awakened, not just to guilt, but to destiny. Your destiny. Because the truth they hold could alter your understanding of why you've been battling delays, strange illnesses, betrayal, and recurring spiritual attacks. Type 1111 if your spirit feels this was not just medical, it was spiritual. A nurse witnessed it too. She was younger, new, and frightened. She saw the moment something was signed that should never have been. She told no one. She feared for her job. But now a broken bar, the burden is overwhelming her. In the last 72 hours, she tried to reach someone. Anonymously. She searched your name. Your face. Her spirit is crying out, they need to know the truth. I can't carry this anymore. Heaven hears her. And now heaven is making sure you hear this. Michael says, what was attempted in that hospital was a ritual of reversal, a covert attempt to swap divine inheritance with sickness, confusion, and delay. But the divine code inside you resisted. That's why you're still here. Yes, it was not your time. Yes, angels stood at your bed. But now the truth is returning, a broken bar, because it must. Because the door it opened has not yet been closed. Type yes if you feel this. A part of you has always felt something was off. This is why. You may have left the hospital thinking everything was okay. But in the spirit realm, files were altered. Your name was tampered with. There was an attempt to mark you with a false spiritual diagnosis so that delay, exhaustion, and confusion would follow you in every area. But here's what the enemy didn't know, that the God of justice had assigned Archangel Michael to your timeline, a broken bar long before that moment. And now the angel who guarded your bed is unsealing the truth. This doctor? They are pacing their living room at 2:34 a.m., holding a file they were told to destroy. They were offered money, promised protection, told you would never remember or never understand. But something has shifted. An angel visited their dream last night and said, "You have 7 days to come forward, or heaven will." That 7-day window has begun. And you are not hearing this by mistake. Type Michael, reveal it all if you are ready for everything to be brought into the light. Now listen carefully. In the next 48 hours, someone from your past will unexpectedly message or cross your path. There will be a reference to the hospital, or a strange sign, a random hospital bill, a medical ad, a health-related image that pulls your attention. That's the angelic signal. The unveiling has begun. Do not ignore it. Do not brush it off. That moment is part of your justice. This isn't just about the past. This is the reason some current battles have not broken. You've been praying, fasting, rebuking but didn't realize there was still an open wound in the spirit, caused by this betrayal. God says, now that the wound has been identified, the healing will be complete. Not just in your body, but in your finances, your mind, your relationships, your purpose. Archangel Michael declares, this is your moment. The courtroom is open. The scroll of truth is being read aloud. Heaven has voted in your favor. No more silence. No more delay. But you must confirm in the spirit that you receive it. Type, I receive blessing 5. I allow the truth to come. Let Michael move and it shall begin. You were never supposed to carry the consequence of that deception. That file A, spiritual and physical A, is now being handed to divine investigators. The people involved? Some will be exposed. Some will confess. Some will face divine judgment. But you will be vindicated. The moment has come. Stay alert. Watch for signs. And do not dismiss this message. Because what you're about to learn, a broken bar, will explain everything that's happened since then. Type Amen and receive divine blessing 5. The truth is knocking. Will you open the door? Share this message with someone who needs healing from a hospital stay that never sat right in their soul. The realm of heaven has just released a second scroll, a broken bar. This is not just a story of a mistake, it was a calculated maneuver to reroute the destiny of someone chosen. Yes, chosen. You were not just a patient. You were a vessel of divine light undergoing a spiritual test, trapped in the disguise of a hospital stay. But what happened that night was not in God's plan. Let me tell you what they never expected: a broken bar. They never expected that the spirit inside you would fight back even while sedated. They never expected the angels assigned to your name would surround your room with fire. They never expected that the prayers of an ancestor, a grandmother, a great-aunt, someone already in glory would activate divine alarms the moment that paper was signed under falsehood. But it did. And because of that, your case has been opened again in heaven. Type Michael, I know this was spiritual if your heart confirms this. Here's what was hidden. There was a meeting before your surgery. It wasn't just a medical team. Someone was there who had no business being part of your case. They weren't assigned. They weren't licensed. But they were connected to someone who didn't want you to rise. a jealous co-worker, a family member who spoke curses, a spiritual enemy pretending to be a friend. They whispered into the right ear. They paid someone with a smile and a favor. They planted doubt in the mind of the doctor. And in that moment of weakness, an instruction was given. It was minor. So they thought. Just change the dose. Just skip that scan. Just mark the wrong name. But even the smallest act of injustice has spiritual weight when it involves a chosen one of God. Archangel Michael says, "Their hands wrote lies, but their fingerprints were recorded in heaven. Their eyes looked away, but the angels did not. Their mouths stayed shut, but the silence has now expired. That time is over. Truth is approaching your door like a lion unleashed. And the one who holds it at the doctorate is under divine pressure. He can't eat. He can't sleep. Because heaven has whispered your name into his ears 3 times this week. He even saw a flash of light when he thought of you, a broken bar, and dropped the file. This is divine confirmation. The unraveling has begun. Listen now, he has debated coming forward. He's afraid. Because the lie wasn't his alone. There's a system behind it. A cover-up. If he tells the truth, he risks losing everything. But heaven has declared, better to lose man's favor than carry the weight of a divine lie. He has 7 days. And you? You are the catalyst. Your prayer. Your spiritual alertness. Your response to this message, a broken bar, it will tip the scale. Type I accept the unshielding if you are ready for complete exposure. Because more is coming. There's something else, another patient. Yes, someone else went through something nearly identical. But they didn't make it. They were buried without answers. Their spirit has been crying out in heaven. And now their voice has merged with yours. That's why this is bigger than you. This exposure will set others free. This doctor doesn't just hold your secret. He holds evidence that could crack open the wall of deceit used to target multiple chosen ones. And you are the key to the floodgate. Expect these signs in the next 3 days, a white feather in an unexpected place. A phone call or a notification from a health provider, out of the blue. The number 777 appearing on a receipt, clock, or tag. A dream of a hospital hallway or clipboard. Sudden emotional waves when you think about that time you were in care. Do not ignore these. They are confirmations. Here's what Archangel Michael is doing now, surrounding your home with divine light. Cutting cords from the spirit of infirmity. Summoning justice angels to review the false record. Sending dreams to those involved, warnings and final chances. Releasing your name into heaven's loudspeaker for divine justice. This is already happening. But you must agree in spirit. Say, Michael, let heaven finish what darkness tried to hide. God is not just rescuing you, and he is reversing the damage. Your healing will accelerate. Your mind will feel clear. You will begin sleeping deeper. Financial delays will dissolve. And the mental fog that followed that event? It will lift like smoke under the breath of God. Because what was done to you is now working for you. What the enemy meant for affliction has become an altar of testimony. Let this be known, the time for secrecy has ended. The doctor will speak. The nurse will come forward. And every unseen detail will shine in the light. You will be vindicated. You will be restored. And you will no longer wonder what happened that day. Because soon, you will know. Type, I stand in the light, I receive divine justice. Michael, finish what God started and prepare. The files of heaven are moving. And so is the truth. Amen. Archangel Michael speaks again. You were discharged from the hospital. You went home. You tried to move forward. But something never felt right. Your body may have left that place, but part of your spirit stayed locked in that room where a hidden betrayal was signed beneath your name. A chart was edited. A report was falsified. And your healing was tampered with. Michael says, this wasn't just a medical event, it was a spiritual interruption. A curse attempted to attach itself to your destiny through clinical deception. The doctor didn't do it alone. Someone whispered in his ear. And that someone, a spiritual or human, had one goal: to delay your rise. To confuse your path. To inject weakness into your future. But heaven intervened. The code of light written into your soul would not allow the plan to succeed. And now, the investigation in heaven is complete. The report has been handed to Archangel Michael. And the order has been given: reveal everything. Expose everyone. Restore all. Your enemies believed that time would erase it. But time only strengthened the evidence. Because spiritual fingerprints do not fade. They remain, until justice arrives. A divine scanner has swept across your medical past. It picked up anomalies. Spiritual signatures of interference. And the sound of hidden guilt from a doctor whose hands still tremble at night. He hasn't told anyone. Not his wife. Not his colleagues. But heaven knows. Because heaven sees in silence. Now the doctor is waking up from dreams with your name burning in his ears. He walks past old charts and one falls from the shelf, your chart. The page opens to the date everything changed. And he sees something he wasn't meant to see. A signature that wasn't his. A dosage that was too high. An order that was added after midnight. He now realizes, this was bigger than a mistake. This was planned. Michael says, there was a person in the room with unauthorized access to your body. Their hands touched your future without permission. This is why your progress slowed. This is why every time you reached breakthrough it fell apart. This is why some prayers felt delayed. Not denied, delayed. Because there was an unauthorized imprint on your spirit. But the divine reversal has begun. Because what they added is being removed. What they switched is being corrected. What they signed is being unsigned. Listen carefully, a broken bar. Heaven is now contacting the nurse. Yes, the one who saw it. She's older now. Quiet. Withdrawn. But she remembers. She remembers looking at your face. She remembers wanting to say something. But fear kept her silent. Now, Archangel Michael is visiting her dreams. and she's writing your name down on a paper she kept for years. A paper that matches the false signature. She kept it. Heaven made her keep it. And now she's getting ready to hand it over. Your vindication is closer than it has ever been. Michael declares, let no lie go unchallenged. Let no silence go unshaken. Let no secret remain buried. Because this isn't just about your healing. It's about who tried to steal your destiny and why. Yes, that's the deeper truth. This hospital event was a cover for a greater spiritual attempt to rewrite your scroll. They tried to reassign your purpose. They tried to drain your strength. They wanted you to live in spiritual fog. To forget your calling. To fear your own gifts. But now heaven has flipped the script. You're not going to just survive this. You're going to testify about it. And that testimony will be the key that unlocks freedom for someone else, someone who was wounded the same way. Now hear this, a person close to the doctor, someone who knows everything, is planning to speak. They have no peace. And heaven has set an appointed time. They are writing an anonymous letter. They will mention a hospital. They will include a number. That number will match your birthday, your ID, or something sacred to you. That's how you'll know this was never a coincidence. In the next 24-72 hours, these things may happen. A name from the hospital will appear suddenly. A strange email or forgotten bill may resurface. You'll dream of a white room or blue folder. You'll feel something leave your body as sudden peace, like pressure lifting. This is the unraveling. Heaven's undoing of what man tried to hide. Archangel Michael says, the courtroom of heaven has voted in your favor. Now begins the repayment. And with repayment comes reversal, every delay is broken. Every sickness planted is removed. Every confusion caused is lifted. Every destiny stolen is restored. And not just restored, doubled. Because God always pays back with interest. Say this aloud in your spirit, I receive full spiritual compensation. I accept divine truth. I allow Archangel Michael to complete the assignment. And then type, I receive full justice, every lie shall be exposed, I will no longer carry what was done to me in silence. Because now, your voice returns. Your authority is restored. And the broken bar is already at your door. The doctor's time has run out. The nurse is speaking. And the gates of heaven have opened the flood. Prepare. The truth is not coming. It has already arrived. Archangel Michael continues, a broken bar, heaven is not finished speaking. The scrolls are still being opened, and the wind of truth is blowing through the rooms of the past, through every hallway, every whisper, every signature made behind your back during that hospital stay. This was not just about your body. This was about your voice. Your calling. Your future. Your lineage. And someone knew it. A force, spiritual and human, recognized your light before you even walked into that hospital. They watched. They waited. And when they saw an opportunity, they made a move. A silent one. A deadly one. But not a successful one. Because God intervened. Archangel Michael says, there was an attempt to mark your soul with spiritual weakness by altering a document on earth. But we canceled the assignment in heaven the moment it was signed. You may have noticed strange things since then. Things you couldn't explain: a broken bar, sudden moments of confusion, random fatigue that doctors couldn't diagnose, nightmares involving white lights or hospital rooms, fear of going back to doctors even when you need to, long seasons of silence in your prayer life, health battles that seemed to vanish when prayed over, only to return without cause. These were not just coincidences. They were the residue of what was attempted. But residue can be removed when the truth is revealed. And the time for that the broken bar is now. The doctor can no longer sleep. He has reached the edge. He picked up the phone to call someone about it yesterday and then stopped. But that hesitation is ending. He's seeing your name everywhere. He's hearing your voice in passing conversations. He's dreaming of hospital rooms being set on fire, not by destruction, but by cleansing. That's Archangel Michael. That's divine justice knocking. Meanwhile, the nurse has started writing a letter. A confession. It's half finished, but heaven is pushing her to complete it. She thinks she's just remembering things from long ago. But what she doesn't know is this: you are being mentioned by name in the throne room of God. And that summons has activated angels over both of their lives. Every lie they stayed quiet about is now a heavy stone in their hands. They cannot hold it any longer. Michael speaks. This was not just about sabotaging one person. This was about silencing a chosen voice. But God is silencing the saboteurs instead. Your records are now being spiritually reviewed. Every page, every note, every false signature, every timestamp, every altered line. There is one note written in red ink. It was meant to disappear. But it didn't. A nurse once circled it and placed a sticky note that said, "Are you sure this is correct?" That sticky note was removed. But God saw it. Heaven remembers what man deletes. Michael says, that moment is frozen in the spiritual realm, and now it is being unlocked. The nurse is now beginning to hear that same question echo in her ears: "Are you sure this is correct?" She knows it isn't. And this time, she will not be silenced. You may soon notice a call from an unfamiliar number you feel strangely drawn to answer. A dream where a door opens in a white hallway. Your ears ringing when someone mentions truth, justice, or healing. You'll smell something clean, like disinfectant or linen, in a place where there's no reason to. These are not earthly signs. These are the footsteps of angels. They are entering the timeline. They are stirring the memory. They are bringing the truth forward, piece by piece, page by page. You will not miss the signal. There's more. An old security recording from that hospital wing still exists. It was thought to be erased. But one copy remains. It shows something. Something small, a gesture, an exchange, a person who shouldn't have been near your chart. That footage is not buried. God hid it in the hands of someone who would never delete it, as someone who didn't even realize what they were protecting.